This video is sponsored by Squarespace. So let's answer the age-old question, should you shoot in RAW or JPEG? As a newer photographer, I'm sure you're confused on if you should shoot RAW or JPEG and which one is better in any situation. You've probably shot in JPEG and saw the pictures and loved the way they looked, and then shot in RAW and put them in Lightroom and saw that they looked like trash, wondering what is even the point of RAW. So let's answer that question today. So to start out, let's focus on JPEGs. Generally, you'll want to shoot JPEG if you have great lighting and also you're focusing on getting it right in camera. Think almost like you're shooting in film. Now, if you have all those requirements set, some of the advantages to JPEGs are that the files are small. With smaller file sizes, you can save a lot more on your SD card and your computer and not have to worry about eating up all your hard drive space with RAW files. Also, by using JPEG, you save yourself so much editing time. If you're getting all your photos right in camera, honestly, you don't have to edit the JPEGs. They're compressed files that are already put together using your camera's color science, and they're gonna look pretty much done and good right out of the camera. I myself use Fujifilm cameras, and because of this, it has me questioning if I should ever shoot in RAW because these photos look amazing coming right out of the camera. I've used multiple of their different camera bodies, and every time I'm getting great results right out of the camera. And really, the question is, should I even shoot RAW because I save so much time. Also, if I'm ever hanging out with my family or going on a trip, I'll generally shoot in JPEG as well because I just don't want to edit. I'm a wedding photographer, so when I'm not shooting for work, I don't want to do any of my usual work stuff. I don't want to have to edit my photos. I don't want a big camera. I just want to be able to shoot photos for fun. JPEG shooting is great for practice, and I highly recommend it for anybody getting started. Because really, at the end of the day, like when I started photography, my first camera was one of those old Polaroid 600s. And like, you're just taking snaps because you want to take a photo of something. And shooting in JPEG is going to help you get into that mode, work on your composition, your light, work on getting it good in camera. And then later you can focus on editing and making your photos look even more amazing with what you can do with post-processing. So I highly recommend shooting in JPEG. However, shooting in RAW is going to give you a whole bunch more options. Now, before we talk more about shooting in RAW, don't forget about this video's sponsor, Squarespace. Squarespace is a platform to help you easily build a website for your online presence. And if you're a photographer, I highly recommend doing this to show off your portfolio and or start your photography business. With easy to use templates, the ability to customize everything on your website, and great features like analytics, commerce, member pages, invoices, and more, you're able to build whatever type of website you need. If you're just showing off your portfolio, you're going to be set there. If you're looking to sell physical products, you're going to have everything you need. And again, if you're looking to make money with photography, having a website is one of the first things you absolutely need to do. So definitely make sure to check out the link in the description below for 10% off of your first domain or website. Now, I'm sure you've heard a lot about RAW photos, and pretty much everyone will tell you you're not professional unless you shoot RAW, which I do not think that's correct. And if you want to hear more about that, let me know in the comments below. However, let's talk about how RAWs work and what the advantages are to shooting RAW. Starting out though with the cons is that the files are huge. They're huge files that you're not going to be able to deal with normally like you do with your JPEG files. For instance, if I put a 128 gig card in my camera and shoot it in JPEG, I'm getting like 100,000 photos. It's a lot of photos. It hits the 9999 cap. Whereas if I'm shooting in RAW, even in lossless RAW, which is slightly compressed, I'm only getting maybe 2,000 photos. So that by itself tells you that the files are much bigger. For instance, when I shoot a wedding, I pretty much fill up a 128 gig card. And because I shoot with two camera bodies, I'm coming home with like almost 300 gigs of photos. So if you don't have external hard drives, you're going to have a hard time dealing with RAW photos. And this is again why I said if you're starting out and just looking to learn and practice, go ahead and shoot in JPEG. The other con is that you have to edit all of your photos. However, that's also one of the greatest pros. So let's go ahead and talk about that. Using RAW files and having to edit your photo gives you the full range of what you're getting in your photo. Now, the way I like to think about it is it's almost like baking a cake. A JPEG is an already made and finished cake, whereas a RAW file is all of the raw ingredients. If I told you, hey, take this chocolate cake that you already made and turn it into a vanilla cake, that's near impossible because the cake is already made. It already has the chocolate in it. There's no way for you to take it out. Think of a JPEG like that. Whereas with raw files, I can say, hey, make a vanilla cake, and you have the ingredients, you can make it vanilla. Or I can say, hey, make a chocolate, and you can make a chocolate cake, if that makes sense. Basically meaning I can do whatever I need to with the photo. When I'm editing a photo, if for some reason the photo was too dark, I can make it way brighter if needed. If for some reason the colors are totally off in the photo, I can white balance and bring that back. JPEG, you can't really do that. You know, in my same analogy with the cakes, you could take a chocolate cake and put vanilla frosting and vanilla ice cream with it, but you'll never be able to take the chocolate out. And that's the same way. If you've ever tried to white balance a JPEG file, let me know in the comments below because it's near impossible if it's a totally bad white balance. Because of this, raw files are great for hard lighting situations. And this is why wedding photographers swear by raw files. Again, if the lighting's bad, if the color of the lighting's bad, I have enough movement in my photos to be able to edit that. And if you want to see that in live action, definitely check out some of my live streams. I'll leave a link to one right up here. You can see me editing your photos live where I deal with bad lighting situations. And because you all send me raw files, you can see just how big of a difference it makes in what I can do with a photo. And this is one of the main reasons we shoot in RAW. This is why we deal with the huge files and deal with having to edit over 1,000 photos every single wedding, is that range of motion we can get in the photos to fix almost anything. Also with RAW files, you don't have to get everything correct right in camera. Again, I can change things in post. So if it's a little dark, that's not a problem. If it's a little bit too light, that's not a problem. There's a lot of things that I can change in post, and that's why we're shooting RAW. If you're looking to start shooting in RAW more often and you're not really sure how to edit, I actually have a course on Lightroom that y'all should check out in the description below. It'll definitely help out when you start because there's a lot to do with Lightroom and editing RAWs. And honestly, like, not to sound mean, but a lot of photographers I've seen take nice photos, but cannot edit to save their lives. And the photos look like trash. That's another reason to shoot in JPEG, because I've seen people ruin good photos because they don't know how to edit correctly. That's another, let me know in the comments below if you've ever seen that, because it's really bad. I mean, think about the old trends, like the whole color selection. Like, that was people who really didn't know how to edit and was just doing stuff and was like, this is cool. So there's a lot of that. So definitely learn Lightroom. Make sure you know how to do it before you start shooting in RAW. And don't let anyone tell you that it's not right to shoot in JPEG. Like I've said before, every time I shoot Fujifilm JPEGs, I question if I should even shoot RAW at weddings. And I think maybe in one of my next weddings, I'll shoot RAW and JPEG just to see. Because really, if I shoot JPEG as a wedding photographer, then I don't have to edit. I come home, the photos are pretty much done. And then the main thing I can do is change the exposure just a little bit if needed in some photos, and we're good to go. So like, that's a huge, huge time saver. Even stuff like Imagine AI can edit JPEGs. So if I did that and just put a slight like, hey, add some contrast and make the exposure right, I mean, saving so much time. So again, don't think that RAW is like the only answer and the only way. A lot of people will act like that, but do what you need to do that works well for you. If your clients are happy, if your photos look good, shoot JPEG. There's really nothing wrong with it. So that is my definitive answer. I don't believe either or is right. However, if you want full control, shoot RAW. If you don't want to edit, shoot JPEG. Just know the limits of both, because if you're shooting JPEG and you shoot something too dark, sorry, you're kind of stuck and there's nothing you can do to fix that. So you probably should shoot in RAW. As long as we understand the limits of our cameras and our files that we're getting, that's going to make you a great photographer. So just remember that. All of this chatter you hear online about how you have to do this and you don't have to do anything except understand your camera, understand the files it's putting out, and understand how to edit. Hopefully that was helpful for you all. And if you want to see any other videos, I'll leave some here for you. Thanks for watching. I'll check y'all next time.